Hey everybody, long time no see. Just gonna give you guys a quick update, maybe a little product review for the build on the 54 four-door. So recently purchased the sway bar kit from JG Design and Fab. Actually ordered two kits, one for myself and my brother, and just wanted to show you how simple it is. Anyway, let's get into it. All right, so they did come in raw steel. I got these powder coated. I wish I should have documented this before getting them powder coated, but I will say the craftsmanship on what they provided from JG Design is exceptionally great in my opinion. But here's our mounting blocks, hardware, the links, our polyurethane bushings with brackets that are serviceable, and the mounts that we can weld to the lower control arms. Let's see if I can get a better shot of the welds here. Now they were able to send both kits in one box, and I love the way they packaged. Couldn't tell both kits were in the box. Actually had me kind of concerned at first, but the way they did it, they zip tied everything together. Like for example, the sway bar was zip tied to the box itself on the inside, prevented everything from shifting and sliding around in transport. But fairly simple the way the guys have it set up. So what we'll do, so when we grab this block here, we mount it underneath the front cross member. It's going to utilize this rivet hole and then this back hole. And when we start to install, I'll get up underneath there and show you what we're talking about. Well, I guess I can do that now. All right. So basically, it's going to mount like this. That notch to clear this back edge of that front cross member. I'll get everything set up and start to install. All right, everyone, watch your ears. All right, let's see if we can get this rivet popped out of there. All right, everybody. Sorry about that. We lost a little bit of battery connection there. We're going to cheat. We're going to use a drill bit. I guess the punch and hammer method didn't work. All right, we cheated, but we got it done. Rivets removed. We did use a drill bit, but hey, it is what it is. I'll just touch this back up with the Rust-Oleum that I have. So both driver and passenger sides are done, and now with the rest of the install. All right, let's go ahead and put the bushings on. And I don't know if you saw, but there's a hole right here in the bushing. Make sure it's going to line up with your bracket. Alright. We're going to use our jack stand as our second hand. I probably should use the other jack stand as well for now. Alright everybody, hopefully that's a good enough angle with not too much junk in the way. Alright, let's go ahead and damage some threads. Maybe. We got to wall out them holes a little bit. Alright guys, sorry for the delay here. So from the top, you see how the front of the bracket and spacer block and everything, it all lines up with these two holes. Use the washer that comes in the sway bar kit, or excuse me, the bushing kit for the top. You know, JG Design and Fab with all the hardware. that they give you. You can use that hardware not only for the bolts to bolt it up, but also for the bottom here. You see how the notch clears that lip. So again, we installed this kit on my brother's 54. Everything lines up. I will say I had a little bit of an issue with this hole here. Now I believe my brother also had a slight issue. Just had to trim the hole a little bit. Other than that, it's bolted to the frame. We'll just make sure that the sway bar is centered, and then we'll go to mount everything to the lower control arm. Alright, we're going to just snug these up. Okay. That, I hope, is enough. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's just keep chipping stuff. Alright everybody, that's the front view of the sway bar. It's tightened up pretty good. Again, see how it clears the lip? And it's just for eyeballing it. The end of the sway bar is almost dead on. But it does look like it needs to slide over to the driver's side just a little bit. So we'll get the tape measure out and make sure it's fair and square and even on both sides. Quite easy to install. I think it's well worth the money. Alright, that's it for now. Okay everybody, so our link here from center to center should be 5 inches according to JG Design and Fab. And pretty much 5 inches will get you right when it pretty much bottoms out when it's assembled. And then it'll mount, this lower bracket will mount to control arm. Now I am running the front setup from JG Designs on their front suspension. Now I've already prepped this lower control arm. Well, let's just assemble it real quick, kind of mock it up for you guys. Pretty much about how it's going to look. See if you got a better view. Now what I did do to make sure that the sway bar was centered, I measured from the frame rail or the front horn, the facing, not the lip. Well, for me, I mean, you could do it either way, but I'm doing it from the side face to the center of the sway bar, middle of the sway bar bracket here. See if I can get you a better idea. So again, from the face to the center, I have right about 5 inches out, and I mirrored that on the other side, and I'm good with that. Again, the only directions I received from JG is that the link will be 5 inches, and pretty much I would say it's common sense that the sway bar should be of course centered. So I'll go ahead and start prepping the other side for weld, and then we'll blast it on. When you mount this lower bracket, let's see if I can get you here. Now this bracket can be used on both tubular and square tubed front suspension that JG offers. But it's going to mount with this tab on the bottom side like that. So that should be your side profile of that lower bracket. Just like that. All right, let's get it all assembled and held up there, see if it looks good, and then we will tack it into place. What is going on? looking all right there. All right. I'm still at my same middle, about 5 inches. Should be okay. Let's check the other side real quick. Damn. Yep, I say it's good enough. If it's off, it's barely. I mean barely. Alright, 5 inches it is. Alright, let's get this other side together. Missing hardware. All right. Take the auto off. Maybe. All right. Let's see. That's gonna look all right. Not too shabby, huh? Trying to let it just hang and then let it line up that way. I'll get a good starting point and I'll mirror it on the other side. Be right back. Alright, so I went ahead and got the floor jack out, compressed the suspension some, and got me a magnet there to help hold that lower bracket onto the A-arm. And I think I'm pretty impressed with how everything's lining up. Looks like the link and brackets are not going to bind up, jam up. Of course, I'll tack it into place and we'll do the swing of motion there. So far, so good. Okay, everybody, this is where we're at. This will pretty much be the end of the video today, or for this segment. I have just a small little bit of welding left to do on it, but we're gonna worry about that at another day. I want to get started on something else. But this is the pretty much the end result of that sway bar kit. And we'll test out the function of it all at a later date. I don't think there'll be any problems with it. It's gonna be simple install for you guys who are thinking about doing it. Again, the sway bar rests on this block. There's bolts to the frame, and then they give you the brackets to weld to your A-arms, lower A-arms, with some links. And that's pretty much it, guys. Take a look, tell me what you guys think. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. Looks like there'll be no frame clearance issues. Other than that, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it's a short, quick video, but that's where we're at. Have a good day, guys.